Hey everyone, my name is Taps, and we just got a whole onslaught of golden moment NFTs from Disney and Veve. But with the markets continuing down, the question is, how will the golden moments hold up long term, and what is the right strategy for this drop? In this video, I'm going to cover the golden moments as a whole, price predictions for this drop, and what strategy makes sense based on where we're at in the market today. As always, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the community, feel free to subscribe. I'm a crypto stock and real estate investor, but never a financial advisor. So let's start by covering what's dropping, who will be the most popular, and price predictions. So Disney Gold Moments is dropping tomorrow, Saturday, March 19th at 8 a.m. Regardless, this is a drop that you want to go for because no matter what, Golden Moments have never dropped below retail. They've come out with the name Disney Duos. So this is two characters in one. So technically, partners would be a Disney Duo too. But it makes a lot more sense to base some of the price predictions off of the last duos, which were, of course, dropped for Valentine's Day with Daisy and Donald, as well as Lady and the Tramp. But we are getting 5 duos in a blind box drop, so basically it's $60 or 60 gems, and you get what you get if you're able to secure one. The most popular of this set are for sure going to be Timon and Pumbaa, as well as potentially Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, because Winnie the Pooh actually has a pretty large fandom base, and that's also why these are the commons, right? So there are 13,333 Timon and Pumbaa. There are 13,333 Pooh and Piglet, both common, and then we move up to the uncommon, 10,333 of the Cogsworth and Lumiere, directly from Beauty and the Beast. And then we hop down to Flounder and Sebastian. This is the rare at 8,333. However, I think this is probably the weakest looking one, and in my opinion, probably not going to hold value as well as some of these other ones. Many love these characters, but just in general, it's not a very attractive statue. And finally, our Chip 'n Dale. This is the ultra rare, 6,333 editions. So let's get into those price predictions because, again, Golden Moments, Veve Collectibles, price values have been dropping, but overall, Golden Moments have held up stronger against their market price than other drops. Does it make sense to HODL or to flip? The answer to both is to look at the last duo drop, which was, of course, the Valentine's drop, the Daisy and Donald, as well as Lady and the Tramp, and see how those are holding up. But also look at where we are in the market now versus then. Now, in general, again, all values are down, right? We were running pretty hot when we look at like C-3PO, for instance, was up to around almost $5,000 at a high. But this was also when there was a lot of speculation that Star Wars is going to be coming, which I still believe Star Wars is going to be coming. But again, when you have that expectation for months that something could be coming, that expectation starts to fade, and so does the value with it. So now C-3PO is sitting around $2,000, R2-D2 is around $4,000. But again, let's take a look at the actual duos, which again, this is Donald and Daisy Duck. Again, this was dropped February 14th, or like around Valentine's Day. And when it did list, the floor price was around $1,500 to $1,600. It then dropped and then shot back up on the 18th back to $1,600. But the value for this did not hold. Lady and the Tramp is even less than this. And now the floor price for Donald and Daisy Duck sits around $600. So almost a third of the price a month later. So does that mean that we should expect the most popular characters like Timon and Pumbaa, who are also at this 13,333 edition size, to hit the market around $1,500 and then slowly drop to around $600? No, because we have to consider where we're at in the market now versus where we were on February 14th. Again, I like to look at cherry charts where I see where the total market values are by market cap on now versus then. So today we're at just over $1 billion. But when I look back to February 14th, we were at 1.56 billion. So the overall way that we valued some of these collectibles were higher then. So the likelihood that this is going to list at $1,500, in my opinion, is pretty low. Even though it's the same edition size, but again, the sentiment in the market has changed over the past month to a downside. Just like what we saw with Pixar drops, the Pixar drops shot up in value, especially Woody, and then came down to more realistic pricing and just slightly above retail. However, golden moments do hold a lot more value, more so than just a drop. So when it comes to price prediction, I do believe that we'll be seeing a third of the height based on where we are at in the total market. So most likely, Timon and Pumbaa, the more popular of this drop, will probably list somewhere around 900 to around 1,000 and will ultimately drop in price over the next few weeks. Now, I get it where you're like, oh man, if this probably would have been at $2,000, at one point, but that's not how the market is now. And the market will rebound eventually, but still consider the fact that you can spend $60 to make around $900 is still more than a 10x. So the market is still very fortunate for those who can land the drops. I believe Winnie the Pooh and Piglet will probably be around $100 to $150 initially less than Timon and Pumbaa. Cogsworth and Lumiere will be slightly less than Winnie the Pooh, I believe. Flounder and Sebastian, I believe, will be right at par with Winnie the Pooh. And because Chip and Dale is the ultra rare and has only 6,333, so over half less than the commons, I do believe it'll be pretty close to Timon and Pumbaa, if not slightly higher, maybe listing around 1,200, 1,100. And then again, all of these prices I think will lower down because when it comes to the additional golden moments, they don't really have the same kind of weight to them as to the OG golden moments drop from the original first set drops from Disney. So keeping that in mind, if I land one, I'm going to be immediately flipping it in the market and then rebuying back what I can in the secondary, probably over the next couple days to weeks. Now, couple days is pretty safe, right? Because the market's in a lull, and so the list price starts somewhere and then it keeps going down. However, this is a risk, right? Because things have been really quiet, right? And things tend to eventually happen that kind of create a rekindling when things are really quiet for a long period of time, especially since a lot of crypto and a lot of NFTs are starting to get a little bit more life pumped back into them, and we're starting to see some movement on crypto and NFTs. OMI continues to be down and most likely is going to be around this area, a little bit down, a little bit up, until we really get some more information that can affect the price. And what's weird is the circulating supply, I don't believe is correct yet on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko. They said eventually it would be fixed, but it is odd that it's not yet. So consider the fact that this is a pretty large drop at 51,665 total additions, which comes out to $3,099,900 this drop is generating. And so roughly at 0.0034 OMI price, this will burn 911,735,294 OMI. And the biggest thing many are saying is, well, who cares if more OMI is burning? Well, we know eventually utility will be attached to OMI. Right now, it's not affecting the price. It's not really mattering, but we again did hear that OMI utility will be coming probably in the next 3 months or so, and that's where we start to see hopefully some kind of effect. There's a lot of speculation around buybacks. Again, really solid questions to bring up during the next AMA just for more visibility. But as OMI price continues to remain low, we are starting to see significant gain in the amount of OMI being burned. Looking at Putincheek's amazing token tracker, we can see last month where we were excited when we were hitting a couple 100,000 OMI being burned per drop. But now in the past 2 weeks, once this drop hits tomorrow, we will have burnt around 3.4 billion in 2 weeks because the price is so low, yet every single drop is still selling out in less than a second. With the Pixar drop, we did over 1 billion. So the market seems really down, and it definitely has affected, especially those who came in at that high point buying things for $3,000, $4,000, $10,000 that are now half that value. But again, the demand, everything's still selling out, everything's still tracking and actually having an effect in the secondary is still there. So eventually we will see a rekindling of the market, but right now things are just at low, low prices. Originally, we thought we wouldn't even see more golden moments from what we originally heard from Veve, but then they came out with the Valentine's Day drop with the duos. And now we're seeing 5 more of these. So I do think Disney sees Veve as probably one of the most incredible marketing engines that they could completely leverage. And so when you consider how many of these we have seen and that how many could be either done in duos or could be broken out into singles, there are still roughly around 25 of these golden moment statues that could be coming to Veve in sets of 2 to 5 at a time. I really hope that Disney ends up building in some kind of utility, kind of like they did with the Disney Plus subscriptions. Proactively, they chose to do that. But that doesn't mean that they can not come in afterwards and say, hey, you collected all these and we're going to add this kind of utility down the road, or potentially do an airdrop like what Ron English did with his drops. And yeah, that's speculative, but you never know what they could do as a massive brand and partner, especially since it helps them to reignite the love and value of these collectibles in the secondary market where they're still gaining revenue. So that is my thoughts on this drop and something to consider if you do nail it. But again, markets are down right now and it feels entirely like Veve is too quiet. Something in my mind, my gut feeling is that something is building, and I'm hopeful that we get some of that news soon. On top of that, we're still waiting on a laundry list of catalysts that we have yet to see, right? With localization, OMI utility article 0.2, MTL is rolling out weekly to more users, but when will everyone have full access? Exchanges that we've been waiting on for quite some time. The web version, which they mentioned in the last AMA. The new waiting room system, which they said will start rolling out into some of the drops this month, but we have yet to see it. More verticals and more licensors. Especially more of the licensors brands underneath the Disney umbrella like ESPN, National Geographic, Star Wars. Now, that's a pretty big list, and it's been the same list for a while, and most are pretty tired of waiting for some of these things to happen, and that's exactly when things tend to happen with Veve. Every time the market has gone into a significant dip, something is announced like Marvel, Disney, some kind of new product offering like comics, and that always tends to recharge the market, recharge the community, and again, floods in new users. So I get it, things are a little bit dark right now, but stay focused on what the big picture is and make moves accordingly, fam. As always, I hope you found my content valuable. If so, please hit the like button and leave a comment down below. The likes and comments appease the algo overlords and help my channel continue to grow. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button, notification bell for future content. That's it for today. I'm Taps. Thank you for your time, man. Happy trading.